all to today's eminent person's lecture series on Peace in the Contemporary World, organized by BIISS. Today, we are very much honored and privileged to have His Excellency Dr. Jose Ramos Horta, the Honorable President of the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste, as the eminent person of the distinguished event. We are deeply honored by your presence, sir. We are also pleased to have amongst Mr. Mohammad Tawhid Hussain, the Honorable Advisor for Foreign Affairs of the Interim Government of Bangladesh, as the guest of honor. Distinguished participants, today's proceedings will commence with the welcome address by the Director General, BISS, Major General etc.I, PSP. Thereafter, today's guest speaker, His Excellency Dr. Jose Ramos Horta, Honorable President of the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste, will deliver his highly anticipated lecture. The session will be open for an engaging and constructive discussion, and following that, Mr. Mohammad Tawhid Hussain, the Honorable Advisor for Foreign Affairs of the Interim Government of Bangladesh, will give his valuable remarks. Finally, Ambassador Irfan Ghausal Azam Sarkar, Chairman of this institute, will conclude the program by delivering his vote of thanks. Ladies and gentlemen, may I now request today's Chair, Ambassador Irfan Ghausal Azam Sarkar, to kindly commence the program. You have the floor, sir. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Your Excellency, Mr. Jose Ramos Horta, President of the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste, and the guest of honor today, and the entourage of the Honorable President. Your Excellency, Mr. Mohammad Tawhid Hussain, Honorable Foreign Advisor of the Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, Major General etc.I, Director General BIISS, Excellencies and distinguished diplomats from South and Southeast Asia, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, including media friends. Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to you all at the Eminent Persons Lecture Series titled The Challenges of Peace in the Contemporary World. Let me begin by paying our homage to the valiant freedom fighters and millions of martyrs, men and women, whose supreme sacrifice and loss of honor brought Bangladesh independence in this month of victory. We also gratefully remember those who laid down their lives and fought for a new Bangladesh in the student-led popular upsurge this year. Our people's struggle and quest for peace and prosperity often meet with challenges, roadblocks and disruptions, more so in contemporary times because the world today is increasingly becoming fragmented by exclusionary blocs and alliances, tendency to pursue zero-sum geopolitics, ideological divides, cultural civilizational revisionism, neo-colonial proclivity, shady creation of dependency, politics of securitization, and more. Manifestations are multiple and multi-level, seen in various forms of conflicts, violence, and hostilities in different parts of the world, which in turn affects all nations, including Bangladesh. Roots of conflict and violence lie in ungraduated, self-centered, and unsettled minds, engaged in making constructs, advancing non-state or state-level agenda to the detriment of others, prompting intolerance and provocations. If we take peace as a concept of societal friendship, empathy, and harmony, critical is working together for shared benefits, build peace, culture peace, nourish its values, and create defenses of peace in mind against its challenges. As we thus define the context of this seminar, what could possibly be the best occasion to discuss challenges to peace for which our younger generations have lately sacrificed their lives in the hope of a better future? And who could better be the right person than the eminent Nobel laureate for peace to talk about peace and benefit us with his wisdom. So now we commence the program and invite the Director General BIISS to make his welcome address. Major General Iftekharani, please.
His Excellency Dr. Jose Ramos Horta, Honorable President of the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste, His Excellency Mr. Mohammad Tawhid Hussain, Honorable Foreign Advisor to the Interim Government of Bangladesh, Ambassador AFM Gausul Azam Sarkar, Chairman BIISS, distinguished guests, Excellencies, learned audience, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning to you all. We are truly honored and delighted to welcome you all to today's Eminent Persons Lecture, where we have the unique privilege to listening to one of the world's foremost champions of peace, His Excellency Dr. Jose Ramos Horta, Honorable President of the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste. We are truly fortunate to have His Excellency Dr. Ramos Horta, who is an avid promoter of peace and an extraordinary personality whose life embodies resiliency, diplomacy, and an unrelenting dedication to justice. We are truly grateful to have him here with us today. Distinguished audience, His Excellency Dr. Ramos Horta has no doubt lived an impactful life to merit a biography which includes unparalleled accomplishments. To grasp His Excellency's narrative, one must be familiar with the history of Timor-Leste. It is a nation with a history of colonization, initially from the time when Portuguese traders regarded this island as their colony. Although in 1975, following the Carnation Revolution, Portugal abandoned Timor-Leste, but only after 9 days of being independent country, the country again was invaded, which lasted for 24 years. And in the journey of Timor-Leste's road to independence, His Excellency Dr. Ramos Horta played the crucial role in advocating for the Timorese people's struggle for self-determination. During the occupation of Timor-Leste, he became the international voice of the resistance, tirelessly campaigning at the United Nations and other global forums. Ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency Dr. Jose Ramos Horta is a towering figure in the global quest for peace and justice. He carried out his people's struggle to international stages with unmatched eloquence and determination. His diplomatic powers earned him with the Nobel Peace Prize in 1996. After East Timor's hard-won independence in 2002, he initially served as the foreign minister, then prime minister, and later as the president, skillfully guiding the young republic through its formative years. A philosopher at heart and a statesman in practice, Dr. Jose Ramos Horta today remains a symbol of inspirations for younger generations with his vision of peace and prosperity. Learned participants, when we say peace in the contemporary world, we need to understand how the changes in the contemporary world shape the term peace. States, laws, constitutions, and laws of civil society, which were the foundations of the international systems of the 20th century, exemplifies a more forward-thinking approach to peace. Hence, contemporary perspective on peace places emphasis on issues pertaining to democracy, human rights, politics, and security. When we look at the complexities of peace, we find that these complexities are multifaceted, shaped by a wave of interwoven challenges that extend far beyond traditional warfare. In an era of globalization, conflicts are no longer confined to borders, but are influenced by economic disparities, excessive militarism, technological advancement, and shifting power dynamics. Furthermore, the aftermath of conflicts often leaves deep scars with issues of displacement, human rights violations, and long-standing grievances requiring nuanced, multifaceted solutions. Therefore, achieving peace today demands not only resolving immediate political disputes, but addressing underlying structural inequalities and fostering cooperation in an increasingly fragmented world. Ladies and gentlemen, if we look for a voice that can elucidate the complexities of peace in the turbulent world that we live in today, we can find only a few personalities, and I strongly believe His Excellency Dr. Jose Ramos Horta is one of those figures, and I firmly believe that the topic of today's lecture, Peace in the Contemporary World, is extremely relevant to understand how to achieve lasting peace in today's world, and which is marked by complex conflicts, geopolitical tensions, and shifting alliances. Allow me to express once again our profound gratitude to His Excellency for making time to share his wisdom with us. We eagerly look forward to hearing about his experience and his vision for global peace in today's ever-changing world. I also extend my heartfelt thanks to all of you for being here today. Your presence reflects a shared commitment to dialogue, understanding, and the pursuit of peace. Without further ado, please join us in giving a warm and respectful welcome to His Excellency Dr. Jose Ramos Horta, the Honorable President of the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you, Director General, BIISS. I would take this privilege now to invite His Excellency Mr. Jose Ramos Horta, Honorable President of the Democratic Republic of Timor-Leste. We would like to hear from him his voice of wisdom. Excellency.
You can speak from here, or if you want, you can go here. Both options are there.
Thank you.
Excellency, Minister, Excellencies, thank you for the privilege given to me to share with you some reflections on my own country and maybe region and the world, where we are, where we might be going. But before doing that, I first want to say again how privileged I have been to come to Bangladesh at this time. This is my third visit. I first came soon after I left office the first time, 2007, 2012. Then I was invited to speak at the commencement at the EU-Lab, and of course visit Professor Yunus, whom I have known for a long time, more than 2 decades, and it was my first concern soon after independence of Timor-Leste, in view of the absence of economy. Nothing was circulating, no money circulating. There are few currencies circulate, whether Indonesian rupiah, Australian dollar, so we didn't have yet a currency. That was in 2000. And I had read about the Grameen Bank, about Professor Muhammad Yunus, and I thought I would invite him to come to Timor-Leste. And Lamia Morshed, who is here, thank you for coming, you came, I think, in 2000, before independence, yeah. And that was the beginning of our relationship with microcredit. I had read enough about it to venture into creating my own microcredit, which, as in the end, it turned out to be a disaster. And and some money from my Nobel Peace Prize, some money people gave me, with a Timor NGO called Timor Aid, the people I knew. I asked them, can you create a microcredit? I give you the money. They say, yes, we can. So we start. Anyway, to make the story short, I didn't want my name in it, and the compromise was JRH, Microcredit for the Poor. And this 5 years later, more or less, they came to see me. They say more than 70% non-repayment. I took it casually, and then what? What's the problem? Well, we are now left with $40,000 in the bank. What shall we do? I said, well, you keep the money to cover your costs, expenses, we close business. More or less, this is how it happened. And in the meantime, Lamia had been to Timor, had helped setting up a microcredit organization called Maurice Lassig, living on your own or your own means, and that slowly spread around the country. And then Professor Yunus came to Timor-Leste first time in 2004. I was foreign minister. Speaking at the Hotel Timor at the end of a couple of days of forum with NGOs, I announced I will nominate Professor Yunus for the Nobel Peace Prize. I'm sure he had been nominated many times, like Jimmy Carter had been nominated at least 10, 20 times, like President Kim Dae-jung, South Korea, had been nominated. I became an expert in understanding the workings of the Nobel Committee. And some people totally misunderstand, and they waste so much time collecting signatures. I remember in one of the times I was in Oslo, before getting the Nobel Peace Prize. It never occurred to me, I didn't care. I wanted the Nobel Peace Prize for our church in Timor, and it never occurred to me. But I remember reading in the media one Swiss priest or one Swiss gentleman, he had collected 1 million signatures to nominate Bishop of Chiapas, Mexico, because back then, Mexico, that area was very much in the international media, and nominating Comandante Marcos, his name, Bishop of Chiapas, and then other nominated Commandant for the Nobel Peace Prize. I thought, well, what a waste of time. The only advantage of that, yes, you collect 1 million signatures, 1 million people got to know about your cause. But by then I understood. And so I decided to nominate, and why would Professor Yunus, an economist, and setting up microcredit, running the Grameen Bank, would win the Nobel Peace Prize? Why not the economics prize, which is in Stockholm, not in Oslo, not the Peace Prize? And so that was my first argument in my verbal. And the Nobel Committee members, they never invite any nominator for conversation. They never do that. Obvious reason, you would have thousands of people flocking to Oslo doing lobby, as if you do lobby in the U.S. Congress for it, But my explanation was not because of the simplistic argument by some, because in '91, following the Twin Tower World Trade Center terrorist attack, there was this simplistic argument that it is poverty that breeds terrorism. And I was invited to sit at a forum in Waldorf Astoria. The World Economic Forum that year had this 2002 decided to do a World Economic Forum in New York, in Manhattan, in tribute, solidarity with New York. And at the same podium, there was President Shimon Peres of Israel countered that. I said, no, that's, I think would be an insult to poor people. You would have terrorists all over Africa, all over much of Asia. No. Terrorism is an ideology, is politics. Yes, sometimes it grows out of disfranchisement, and out of alienation, out of anger, desperation, manipulated, ignorant, manipulated by those who promise heaven, etc., etc. Elimination of poverty, yes, contribute to a much more peaceful, tranquil environment in a society, in a country. So that's my argument. And grabbing back Professor Muhammad Yunus' contribution, first, regardless of the debate about the causes, consequence of poverty, gave hope, better life to millions of people. No Nobel laureate, no academic is so well known, respected, esteemed in the world as Muhammad Yunus. When he first arrived in Delhi, of course, that was before the Nobel Peace Prize, I went to the airport, and there he arrived in the typical, very humble fashion. I think wearing sandals, not that French brand, I forgot the name of that brand, I would add, what a great luck, great how fortunate Bangladeshi youth. The Bangladeshi youth of the current revolution remind me a bit of Che Guevara and Fidel Castro. But Fidel Castro and Che Guevara, they stormed their way into Havana from Sierra Maestra with guerrilla fighters. These ones, unarmed, more the style of Mahatma Gandhi, and a very unique style, because even Mandela, they must celebrate Mandela, whom I had the privilege to meet, led an armed struggle. And he argued, he defended for a long time. And only Mahatma Gandhi till the very end proposed non-violence. And the youth brought about this end of a particular regime. Themselves, youth, without any violence. Of course, violence happened, but not as a strategy, as a policy. And then who they choose to lead? Well, you couldn't have a better person than Professor Yunus. So then you have such a great condition for a successful revolution. Revolution in the context of changes, not the negative connotation that when you hear about revolution in this, successful revolutions all had a leader. The successes had leader. You cannot do changes in a school, at home, in a village without a leader or leaders. Leaders with vision, leaders with ability to articulate, to share the vision, the ideas, the promise with the people, and they embrace your vision because it meets their anxieties, their expectations, their desires. And leaders that have countries wanting a permanent membership, to Germany, Brazil, India, 4 countries, and Japan, the so-called G4 that want to campaign together. And the Italians said, those who talk about reform